Hello and welcome to another episode of Creatives on the Couch. Now, on today's show, we're going, well, it's like being in an art gallery because I've got one of the most remarkable and talented men in the UK joining me today, and we're going to be talking about his art and what he actually creates. We've got Peter Jameson Sinclair with me. Even the name sounds regal, doesn't it? How are you, sir?
I am very well.
Thank you so much for being here.
Very much for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure.
Well, I'm throwing that right back at you, that it's a pleasure to have you here. And, you know, your style and, you know, a lot of artists, I suppose, they pick a genre, they pick a style and they stick to it.
Yeah.
You literally broke the mold, didn't you? And thought, I am going to create everything.
Yeah. It's a learning curve. If I'm a great believer in, if you want to know how someone did something, take it apart.
Okay.
Take it to bits, and then build it from, well, in this case, the canvas up.
Right.
I mean, I work exclusively in acrylics because it dries quickly.
Yep.
And my output is I can have a dozen going on at a time.
Wow.
But they're all different styles. Occasionally I'll decide on a particular artist and I'll do, right, okay, I'm doing, I don't know, Titian.
Okay.
And it'll be Titian's. So there'll be that element of repeated technique. But sometimes it'll be, okay, that one's a Titian, that one's a Lempisca, that one's David Shepherd. Who's that? The Goya.
And they're all just there in front of you.
They're all different, and it's right, that one's drying, I can't do any more to that next. And I'll change hat, as it were.
And have you always been like that? You know, obviously, you know, this has been a labour of love for your entire life, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So as a child, you know, and growing up, were you always interested in painting and creating and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think my first experience was at primary school. And whether it was my work or whether it was just the school's show and tell, which it probably was, you know, we tend to absorb attention and think, oh, it's all about me. Well, yeah, you know, a lot of the time it really isn't. But they marched the whole school around my desk. It was about 71 when the Tutankhamun exhibition was doing the rounds at the British Museum. I was obsessed with this gold mask.
Wow.
I did a picture of it.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, obviously I don't have it anymore. Whether it was any good or not, I don't know. But they liked it.
Right.
And I wonder what on earth I'd done wrong. You know, people sort of look at this.
Yeah.
But that was the first. I think it was about 7, 8, something like that. And I was constantly drawing, constantly colouring. First time, I think, when I used a grid. People say, oh, if you use a grid, it's cheating. Well, if it was good enough for Leonardo da Vinci, it's good enough for me.
Wow, yeah.